Before this story begins, listen carefully. If you enjoy real-feeling horror stories that stay with you long after the video ends, take 1 second right now and subscribe. These stories are rare, and once you hear this one, you'll understand why. Some books are not meant to be read. Some pages are not meant to be turned. And some knowledge, once learned, never lets you go. This story is about a black magic book that does not kill instantly. It waits. It watches. And when the time is right, it takes a life in exchange for a wish. The first recorded mention of this book appeared in Eastern Europe in the late 1800s. A priest wrote about a nameless manuscript bound in dark, cracked leather. The cover had no title, no author, only a strange symbol burned into the surface, not drawn but scorched, as if fire itself had carved it. The priest wrote that anyone who opened the book would feel an immediate pressure in their chest, like something inside the room had become aware of them. He warned that the book never forced anyone to read it. Curiosity did the work. Decades later, similar descriptions appeared in completely different parts of the world. A librarian in South America mentioned a silent book that made no sound when placed on a table. A monk in Southeast Asia wrote about a text that appeared blank until read at night. A soldier during World War II described finding a book in an abandoned house that felt heavier after every page. The details changed. The result never did. People who read from the book always lost someone. Sometimes immediately, sometimes weeks later, but always someone close. The most documented case happened in the early 1990s. A university student named Daniel was researching forbidden folklore for his thesis. He found a reference to the book hidden in an archived journal that was never meant for public access. The librarian warned him not to request it. That alone made him want it more. When the book was finally placed in front of him, Daniel noticed something strange. The pages were warm, not room temperature, warm, like skin. The first page contained a single sentence: "Nothing is free." Daniel laughed. He assumed it was symbolic. He continued reading. The text did not describe spells the way movies do. No chanting, no circles, no candles. Instead, it asked questions, personal questions, questions no book should know the answers to. What do you want most? What would you trade for it? Who would you miss least? Daniel felt uncomfortable, but he kept reading, and that was the moment the book marked him. That night, Daniel dreamed of a dark room with no walls. A book floated in front of him, slowly opening by itself. Every time a page turned, he heard a distant heartbeat. When he woke up, his ears were ringing and his hands smelled like burnt paper. Within 3 days, his life improved in ways he never asked for out loud. His failing grades suddenly rose. A professor who disliked him began praising his work. Money issues resolved themselves unexpectedly. Then, his younger brother was hit by a car. The accident was ruled unavoidable. No witnesses, no charges. Daniel remembered the sentence, "Nothing is free." Terrified, he returned to the book. This time, new text had appeared where blank pages once were. Payment accepted. He tried to destroy the book. Fire didn't burn it. Water didn't soak it. When he tore a page, the paper reattached itself like skin healing over a wound. People who knew Daniel noticed he was changing. He became paranoid. He stopped sleeping. He began to hear whispering, not voices, but thoughts that weren't his. The book was no longer asking questions. It was making suggestions. You can ask again. You know the cost. You decide who pays. Daniel never made another wish. But the book didn't care. Over the next year, 2 more people in his life died, one from sudden illness, one from suicide. Each time, Daniel noticed new sentences appearing in the book, written as if someone was documenting the transactions.
When police investigated Daniel after his mental breakdown, they never found the book. His apartment was empty. No burn marks, no hidden compartments, nothing. But months later, a used bookstore owner in another country reported receiving a strange, leather-bound book with no receipt and no memory of who sold it. Same symbol, same warmth, same first sentence. What makes this story truly disturbing is not the deaths, it's the consistency. Across continents, across decades, the rules never change. The book does not lie, the book does not rush, and the book never takes more than it is owed. Some researchers believe the book feeds on intention, not action, that simply wanting something badly enough begins the transaction. Others believe the book is not evil, but indifferent, like gravity. Here is the part no one likes to talk about. Every account ends the same way. The final owner always disappears. No body, no explanation, only the book moving on. Today, no museum officially claims to possess it, no library admits to cataloging it, and no authority confirms its existence. Yet descriptions keep appearing. Online forums, private journals, unpublished police notes. Always the same warning. Always too late. So here is the real question. If a book could give you everything you wanted and only asked for one life in return, would you close it? Or would you turn the page? If this story unsettled you, let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories that walk the line between myth and reality, subscribe now. Some stories don't end when the video does.
Every year, on the same date, at the exact same minute, the book returns. No one knows where it comes from, no one knows how it chooses, but those who are chosen are never seen again. In a small, forgotten town where time feels slower and nights feel heavier, there is an old belief people whisper about but never say out loud. They call it the Black Book, not because of its color alone, but because of what it does to those who touch it. The book does not appear randomly. It comes once a year, same date, same time, always at night, always when the world is quiet enough to listen. The first thing people notice is the smell. Burnt paper, old ink, something metallic like dried blood mixed with dust. The book doesn't knock, it doesn't fall from the sky, it simply appears. Sometimes on a doorstep, sometimes on a chair inside a locked room, sometimes beside a sleeping person who swears the space was empty just moments before. Those who find it never go looking for it. The book finds them. At first, it feels harmless. An old book, strange symbols, pages written in a language no one remembers learning, yet somehow understands while reading. The first rule of the book is simple. Do not read it aloud. The second rule is written deeper inside. Do not stop once you begin. And the third rule is never written at all. People who open the book experience the same thing. The room around them changes. Walls stretch, shadows move against the light. The air grows thick, heavy, like breathing underwater. The book does not show ghosts. It shows doors. Doors to places that should not exist. One man described it before he disappeared. He said the pages began to turn on their own. Each page pulled him deeper into a world that looked familiar but felt wrong. The sky was darker. The ground felt alive. Voices whispered his name even though no one was there. He said the book wasn't reading him. It was remembering him. Every year, the same number of people vanish, always on that date, always within the same hour. Some are young, some are old, some live alone, some disappear from crowded homes. There are no screams, no signs of struggle, just silence. Families report their loved ones simply standing still, staring at the book before the lights go out. When the lights come back, the person is gone, and the book is gone with them. No footprints, no forced entry, no explanation. Those who have tried to destroy the book failed. Fire refuses to burn it. Water does not damage it. Tearing its pages only causes them to reappear the next year, perfectly intact. One scholar believed the book was not cursed, but hungry. According to ancient beliefs, some objects are not created, they are summoned. The book does not kill in the human sense. It takes. Those who are taken are dragged into a black magic realm where time does not exist the way we understand it. A place built from fear, memory, and regret. A place where the book feeds on human consciousness. Some believe the victims are trapped, forced to relive their worst fears again and again, powering the book so it can return every year. Others believe something worse, that the people taken become part of the book itself, their thoughts, their pain, their names hidden between the pages. There is one detail that makes this story even more disturbing. Every year before the book appears, a power outage occurs in the town. Always 5 minutes before, always unexplained. And when the power returns, the book has already chosen. Authorities have tried to investigate. They find nothing. No fingerprints, no patterns that make sense. Because the pattern is not logical. It is ritualistic. The book does not belong to one place. Stories like this exist in different cultures, under different names, across different regions. Always the same rules, always the same ending. Some say if you refuse the book, it will return next year, and the year after that, until you are too tired to say no. Others say the book already knows your answer before it arrives. The most terrifying part? The book does not take everyone. It only takes those who hesitate, those who are curious, those who read just one page, those who think they are stronger than fear. And every year, on the same date, at the same time, someone always is. If this is only a story, then why do people still lock their doors on that night? Why do some towns go completely silent at that exact hour? And why do those who survive never speak about what they saw, only about what they felt? Because once the book looks for you, it never truly stops. The town had always whispered about the old library at the edge of the forest, a place that locals avoided as if the trees themselves warned them. No one remembered who built it or when, but every map marked it as abandoned, and every adult told children to steer clear. Stories spoke of a book that lived inside, a tome bound in black leather and etched with symbols that twisted beneath the eye. They said it chose its readers, and those who read it never returned quite the same. One foggy evening, a graduate student named Claire arrived in the town, drawn by rumors and a thirst for research. She had heard of the library through a series of letters, obscure references in journals about cursed texts, and it called to her curiosity like a siren. As she approached, the library's silhouette emerged through the mist, tall, ominous, and strangely alive. The windows seemed to breathe in the dim light, and the door groaned as if resisting her presence. Yet she pushed it open, feeling a shiver crawl up her spine. Inside, the air smelled of dust and old ink. The shelves stretched impossibly high, filled with books that seemed older than time itself. The walls were lined with mirrors, each reflecting not just her image, but flickers of something behind her, shadows moving with intent, always at the edge of vision. She heard whispers, soft and urgent, but when she turned, the aisles were empty. On a pedestal at the center of the room lay the book. It was unremarkable at first glance, black, unmarked, closed. But as she drew nearer, the symbols on its cover writhed and shimmered, almost inviting her. The moment Claire touched the book, the temperature dropped. The whispers grew louder, now forming words she could barely comprehend. Read, know, belong. She opened it, and the pages were blank, but as her eyes scanned them, letters began to appear, forming sentences that described her life in chilling detail. Memories she had never written, secrets she had never spoken. The text adapted to her, shifting with her thoughts and fears. Each page revealed a question. Would you betray someone to survive? Do you value truth more than safety? Can you escape what is meant to be? Hours passed, or perhaps minutes, Claire could not tell. Shadows gathered around her, figures that seemed to lean closer with each turn of the page. Their faces were obscured, yet she felt their eyes pierce her very soul. She tried to close the book, but it resisted, as if the leather itself was alive. The whispers became voices, urging, pleading, commanding. The library itself shifted. Aisles grew longer, floors curved, and the mirrors reflected scenes that had never existed outside the book. Claire realized that stepping back was impossible. Leaving without finishing the text was impossible.
The book demanded knowledge, and knowledge demanded surrender. Each line she read left a mark on her mind. She saw visions of people who had come before her, individuals who had vanished without trace, their essence bound to the pages. The library itself seemed to pulse, breathing in unison with her heartbeat. She stumbled back, desperate to escape, but the exit had vanished, replaced by a wall of shifting letters. The whispers intensified, spelling her name, recounting her failures and fears, promising what she feared most. Claire understood then that the book was not just a collection of words, it was sentient. It fed on attention, fear, and desire. It pulled from reality and memory, weaving them into a tapestry that trapped its reader. As she continued, she noticed something horrifying. The shadows were no longer at the edges. They were within her vision, moving closer, forming shapes she recognized but could not maim. The room twisted, her body felt weightless, and the book became heavier in her hands, its presence pressing against her chest, her thoughts, her very identity. In the center of a long page, letters formed one sentence that made her blood run cold. You may close the book, but you will carry us forever. Panic surged. She slammed it shut, and the shadows recoiled, hissing, then vanished. The library returned to normal, or as normal as it could be. Sunlight seeped faintly through the dusty windows. Claire's knees buckled and she collapsed, trembling. She held the book close, unsure if she should destroy it, hide it, or study it further. The knowledge of its power and its hunger was embedded in her mind forever. Days later, when townspeople asked about the graduate student who had visited, they noticed the library was quiet again. Some said it had never been there, though the cobblestones bore traces of her footprints. Others spoke of a figure in a dark hoodie wandering the edge of the forest, muttering to herself, clutching a black book. Claire knew she had survived, but the whispers were with her now, faint but constant, reminding her that some knowledge comes at a price. If you want more stories like this, make sure to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay aware, stay curious, but remember, some books are never meant to be opened.